Welcome to another episode of the HEAT'D Sportscast. I'm your host, JC, and with me today, we have two fan favorites. We got my man, Dylan Adams-Martin.
What's up, JC?
What's up, Dylan? And of course, we got Kevin Gonzalez.
What's up, man?
What's up, Kevin? Good to have you guys here. Well, today, we're going to be talking some European soccer, some MLS, and we'll be giving some predictions on later today. And let's get to it, Kev. We just saw Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi get eliminated from the Champions League. Is their era over? What's up?
I wouldn't say that their era is over, but I definitely think their era at their respective teams is over. And I think that's the crucial thing. I think if you look at Juventus and you look at Barca squads, when you have players that are aging like them, like they both have shown that they can produce at a high level still, but they need the complementary pieces around them. And I think especially Barca, when you analyze that team top to bottom, Messi needs to get out if he's gonna still be relevant in the Champions League moving forward.
He needs better players, man. These 17-year-olds, come on, you can't surround the best player with 17-year-olds.
My thing is that Barca have done a weird thing in these last couple of years where it almost seemed like they were not using any of their academy guys at one point, and that they were just using their older guys, and then they've kind of done the flip of that, and now it's basically straight academy. We're not really buying any talented players, and we sold off even guys like Suarez that obviously Messi had a close bond with, that is showing he's still producing at a high level at Atletico. Like they're running this weird system with their team, which I just think that they don't understand fundamentally what their identity is. And that's a huge problem.
And it comes down to, they're not really shaping the team around, an old Messi. This is not 28-year-old Messi, right? I mean, these are his last years, but I think he should get out of there as soon as he can. Don't you? I mean, there's a new president, but it's not looking too good.
I mean, the new president seems so dead set on the fact that Messi's going to stay. Like he's talking about it like if that's a foregone conclusion. If I was Messi personally, I'm out of there. It doesn't matter that there's a new president, because if you look, Barca's financial situation is not the best. Like they are definitely not in the best financial situation when it comes to some of the other clubs, especially looking at some of the clubs in England. They're just a lot more financially stable right now. And obviously, like COVID has really hit some of these teams hard. But Barca don't seem like they have the money to make any kind of drastic squad overhaul. And that squad seems so far away from being at the highest level of the Champions League. I mean, like look at a team like Bayern. Bayern seems so dominant, and I don't think that Barca are even in the same stratosphere as them, and that's the team to beat. And when you're looking at a club like Barca, like that right there, you're always looking to be at the highest level, and they're just not there right now.
For sure. And along with Messi's downfall this year, I mean, what's up with Cristiano, Dylan? Not looking too sharp, huh?
That's the thing with Cristiano. Like, he's the type of man that wants to take over the game by himself. I feel
just
like
can't anymore.
He's getting to that age now where, he still can be the best player, but he doesn't move like how he used to, like Real Madrid Ronaldo or even Man United Ronaldo. He's not the same.
And it's another case of the team around them is just not good enough, huh?
They have talented players on that Juventus squad. They have a lot of youth, also like Barcelona, with Weston McKennie and Bernardeschi, and I always Clivert. No, I forgot the right winger's name.
Chiesa.
Yeah. There you go. You saw him in that game. Dude. Oh my God!
Lightning, man, lightning.
Easily the best player of that match right there.
But again, he's 20 years old, Dylan. He's 21. Like, that's not it's not a superstar. It's not, a Benzema or Gareth Bale or anything like that. I mean, he should have those players around him, no?
He's the type of player, too, that, like, you even saw it at Real Madrid. Like, he likes having a lot of players around him, but he likes all the attention to himself. He wants to be the top goal scorer on every single team that he plays at. So that's why I feel like he didn't like Bale, he didn't like Benzema for a while, because they were kind of like not taking the spotlight, but taking the stats away from him.
For sure. At least 5 or 10 goals each are taken from him.
Yeah.
Well, he's in his last year, just kind of like how Messi was this last season. Is his time up at Juve? I mean, what do you think?
I think he moves to the Premier League this year.
Premier League? Oh.
Maybe back with Man United. I'm not quite sure.
That's a dream right there, though, for fans.
But I feel like he is definitely gonna go to or maybe I want to say League One, like in the French league.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Because you can't have him and Neymar. Like, I feel like they're not gonna coexist well together. And he's not gonna go to like Lyon or like one of these smaller clubs in the French league. So I feel like the only option left is the Premier League.
The only way that Paris Saint-Germain happens with Ronaldo is if Mbappe goes to Real Madrid, right? That's the only way that I think that can happen.
Financially, that would be the only way. Like, when you look at the contracts that those guys have, there's no way PSG can afford
3 of them.
Neymar, Mbappe, and Ronaldo's contract. Like, those are literally going to be 3 of the biggest contracts in all of world football. That's just not a feasible thing for them to run. And it's the same exact thing when you're talking about Messi. Like, PSG being able to land him, it's damn near impossible to do.
Which it looks like Man City might be lining up for Messi, huh? Reuniting Pep and Messi. What do you guys think? Spicy.
I like the move. As a Chelsea fan, hate it. Just because I absolutely don't want to play him. I don't want to have to play him.
Oh my goodness.
When you look at Man City's squad in terms of what they need and who I think might be on their way out at City, there's a lot of talks about potentially Riyad Mahrez getting transferred out. Him obviously wanting a bigger role than what he's currently being offered at City, and Aguero being another, City staple that is probably on his way out, looking like he's probably going to go to Italy. They are definitely going to need to do a little bit of an overhaul in terms of their attack. It seems like the transfers that they've made in defense, bringing in Ruben Diaz, have really helped, but it seems like they're really going to need to overhaul that attack. And I think if they bring in a guy like Messi, especially because it would just be his wages, it wouldn't be paying an obscene transfer fee for him, I definitely think it's feasible. They still have Gabriel Jesus. You could run Jesus, Sterling, Messi. You have De Bruyne putting in service. And I think that it would be the perfect situation for Messi is Man City. They have clinical finishers. They have guys who can facilitate. So it allows Messi to play off of his actual team in a way that he's not able to do right now at Barca. It seems like in a lot of Barca games, the ball has to stop at Messi, and it's him being forced to create at every avenue. And it's just not a sustainable means of success for him, considering that he is getting older.
A Kevin De Bruyne and Messi partnership, oof, that sounds good, doesn't it?
Monsters.
That's 20 assists a piece right there in the league.
That's insane. Dude, they'd run away. I think they'd get over 100 points in the league for sure if they... Which, let me ask you guys this. If City wins the Champions League, do they need Messi? Do they sign him? What are they going to go for? What do you think?
I mean, when you look at Champions League winning teams throughout history, it doesn't matter. Like, look at Real. Real won multiple Champions Leagues, and it seemed like they wanted to get better. Like, they wanted to bring in guys, bringing in guys like Vinicius Jr., bringing in those younger guys. Like, they still had the future in mind. I think even if City were to win the Champions League this year with their squad, which I don't think is going to happen just because I don't think anyone's taking out Bayern.
I'm with you.
But if they were to, I still think that Pep would push for a transfer like that, especially because you're talking about, especially in England, the amount of competitions that you have to balance, especially now having won the Champions League. You'd be talking about they would have to play again in the Champions League. You're talking about the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup, the actual league, the Club World Cup. Like, the competitions start to pile on so much that I think as much help as you can get, they're going to be willing to make those moves.
So let's get down to it. Who do you guys think are going to be the final two in that Champions League final now that our two giants are out?
It depends how the next round is decided, to be honest with you. I definitely see Bayern 100%. Whoever they get drawn against, they're winning, no matter what.
You think? Yeah, they're too powerful. They're too powerful, huh?
Dude, Lewandowski is on fire. Like, dude, that man is a machine.
Lewandowski's playing like if he's 23. I don't understand. He's defying how age works. And it's just that Bayern team is just so well constructed. When you look at them, they have everything that you need. They have experienced players, guys that have been there, that have done that. Guys like Lua, guys like Müller. And then they have all of those young complementary pieces that just have so much pace and they are so technically skilled. Coleman, Gnabry, Alphonso Davies, Leroy Sané, who they just added. And once again, and it speaks volumes about a team, won the Champions League, still looking to get better. And they're going to bring in Upamecano next year. So once again, a team that just thinks ahead. And Bayern have been doing that for years. Bayern have one of the best transfer policies and transfer systems. They just take everyone in the Bundesliga and they just sign them all, and it always works out for them. And when you look at that team compared to every other team, I just don't think that there are many teams that can even give them a tough game. I think City are definitely one of those teams, but they're notorious for choking in the quarterfinals.
Champions League chokers.
And it speaks volumes of how City going out, to me, is the funniest thing every year, because I think they go out because of how good Pep is as a coach. Like, Pep is so big-brained and looking to do all kinds of crazy tactical moves that I don't think any other manager has the balls for, that he always puts himself in a situation in the quarters where he's trying to adapt his system to the team that he's playing, and he overcomplicates things, and that's why they go out. And
that's always what happens, right? Too many passes, too many sideways passes, overcomplicates it.
Yeah, he'll change someone's position for that game and be like, all right, you're playing as a false nine today. And like it's classic Pep. Once again, in the league, that works really well because you can constantly make those switches in the league over the course of your 38 games. And even if it doesn't work the first time, and it's shown, especially in his tenure with Man City, they've hit lulls that he's able to easily get them out of. And once they start building up form, they seem unstoppable because he can kind of workshop what works and position modifying players in a way that you can't really do in the Champions League. One bad game can tank you.
That's been his deal, right? The last 6 seasons here at City. I mean, I think if he gets Messi, I think he'll give some of the reins to Messi. Just do you, and none of that overcomplicating of tactics and all this. Anyways, let's talk about City. Man, they're top of the table in the Premier League. They lost last week to Man United. They shortened that point deficit. What do you guys think? Is City running away with the Premier League?
100%. Like, no question about it.
No question, for sure. It's
14-point difference between Man United and second place. There's only 9 games left for them. There's no competition. It's just a matter of 2 to 4 now for the rest of the league.
Yeah, I don't think it really takes a mathematician to look at that table and go, everyone else has 0 chance whatsoever.
Yeah.
And that's what was funny to me about that last game. Man United fans, and I understand it's a derby, they were celebrating like if they won the league. Like, at the end of the day, everyone else is just playing for Champions League football. And City are cruise controlling their way right now to the league title in a way that I think really benefits them, because I think because of how competitive the Prem is most years, I think that it kind of restricts those teams a lot in the Champions League because their mind is so kind of scattered. They're trying to focus their attention on so many different competitions. City can literally focus all their attention on the Champions League because there is no way that, they could lose 3-4 straight, would not matter.
Yeah, they'd still be up more than a couple points, right? Oh man.
And especially considering the form of like the teams that are chasing them. Like you have United, and as good as United have done compared to what I thought they were going to do. Like Ole has them playing better than I expected.
For
but
sure.
At the end of the day, Man United are easily liable to drop points. You look at Leicester. Leicester have been doing this like ever since they won that title. They've shown they are not good when put in the position to hold a Champions League spot. They showed it last year. They kind of choked it away. You have Chelsea.
Yeah, Leicester, Man U, Chelsea. They're scrapping it out, huh?
Yeah, Chelsea's defensive work has improved tremendously under Thomas Tuchel, and obviously their results are getting much, much better. But offensively, I just don't think that they're producing enough goals. I think that they definitely are going to stay in that competitive spot for a Champions League spot. I would say that they definitely make it in, but once again, just another team that is like, they're just too far behind to climb their way out. Like Man United right now, you look at the table, even they have a game in hand on City right now. Even with a win, giving them that win and having them level at 29 games played apiece, you're still 11 points back. And you just look at the rest of the league, it's crazy to see what Man City have done.
But now, will we be talking about Man United if Liverpool was not in 8th place right now?
Oh my goodness, that's not fair. Come on, they have like 11 injuries.
But like, I feel like Man United wouldn't even be in the picture for top 4 right now. Maybe like they'll be like sitting 4, 5, 6, maybe. But if Liverpool were playing like how they are supposed to, even Tottenham isn't playing like their best football.
And they're not going to. And
yeah, exactly.
Trust me, I'm a Chelsea fan. I want to see them as far bottom of the table as possible, just like Arsenal.
My thing is that it's classic Mourinho. Like Tottenham got exactly what they signed up for with Mourinho, and Tottenham fans were really, really loving the appointment of Mourinho. And obviously, and Dylan can back me up on this, being Chelsea fans, we know exactly how Mourinho goes. He does a good job, and it seems like things are going well. And the moment that you hit that wall, it's just never ending. And Mourinho looks like he's on it. He has a one-way ticket to getting sacked right now, because his defense, to give him a little bit of a pass here, the defense is not the most talented group, but he has Harry Kane, Heung-min Son, and is finding a hard time beating lower opposition. Like you can't have like the reins with Tottenham and struggle to beat some of the best teams. I mean, you're in 7th place, and it just seems like they're not anywhere near the levels of some of the bigger clubs. And like we said, obviously Liverpool is in 8th, but Liverpool at the end of the day, I think we can all agree, have a little bit more of a pass than a team like Tottenham.
Yeah. I mean, Tottenham, they play like a lower level team. At least Liverpool, like they're struggling, but, occasionally you see some brilliance,
My thing is just Liverpool, it just seems like it can't get any worse, and it does on a weekly basis because someone else goes down for them. Like, their attack is, everyone knows how good Mane and Salah are. It's no question. Firmino is washed. I'm just going to go out there and say it. He's washed.
Damn.
That team needs a striker.
I agree with you with that.
That team desperately needs a striker. Firmino is washed. He cannot play the way that he used to. He's not a clinical finisher anymore. It seems like he holds up play and slows them down more than he speeds them up and gets them into actually fluid attacks. Their fullbacks are great. But the problem is their midfield and their center back core have just been so injury depleted. They've just, like, when you're converting Jordan Henderson to a center back, and now Jordan Henderson is out too, like, it seems like they can't catch a break.
And there's rumors going around too that with Liverpool being so down right now, Jurgen Klopp, he might take over Germany after the Euros. What do you guys think? You think that might happen, or he's sticking around?
He says that it's not true. He gave a press conference and said that there's no way that he takes over the Germany job after the Euros because he still has 3 years left on his Liverpool contract. And I'm going to take that at face value. I think that's true. I don't think he takes over the year after the Euros. I think it's more realistic that he would take over after the World Cup.
Interesting.
I don't see, especially because of the way that the schedule has kind of worked itself out because of COVID. You're literally talking about a 1-year gap, really, between the Euros and the World Cup, which is not going to be in the winter of 22. So it's literally summer of 21 to winter 22.
6 months.
That would not be enough time for a player like Jurgen Klopp, for a manager like Jurgen Klopp, to really assess his squad and implement any kind of tactical approach to that Germany team. I think that he would want to take over where, pressure's off a little bit. The World Cup just ended. You have time to prepare for the next Euros and the next World Cup. I think that would be a more rational choice. I think that Germany will be looking at, the two names that have been floated around, Hansi Flick, Jurgen Klopp. I don't think either one of them takes that job. I think that they're going to have to look at somebody more in the short term than the long term.
Well, let's get to my club I support in the Premier League, the biggest London club in England. We got the Arsenal. What do you guys think?
No, get out. Sorry.
Come on, guys. Come on.
You're at 10th in the table. You cannot speak.
Okay.
You have no say.
Okay, look. Give Arteta the summer window. All right. Get a player around Thomas Partey, and we're on.
Yeah, but David,
on your way to
defensive.
On your way to 9th instead of 10th.
Cut off your sentence today, Kevin. There you go. Yeah. No one heard that. Top 4 is what I'm talking about. I'm talking top 4.
Look,
No.
honestly speaking, looking at that Arsenal squad compared to some of the talent in the Prem, do you think that squad has what it takes? Especially if Prem teams are going to continue to buy. If City bring in a guy like Messi, if Chelsea, like what all the rumors have, if the rumors are true and Abramovich really is going to give them another 250 mil to spend, can Arsenal compete with the level of talent that is above them that might potentially get even better?
I don't think so.
Again, like you're right. Like, dude, 250 million and another year of a Timo Werner and Havertz, that's ridiculous. But again,
I mean, the big sweepstakes are going to be who gets Erling Haaland.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
And Harry Kane too, if they stay in the Premier League, if he stays. But
I don't see Harry Kane leaving Tottenham.
You think he's a lifer, huh?
I wouldn't say lifer. I just don't think right now. I just don't see an avenue, especially because I think that a lot of the bigger teams are going to be chasing Mbappe and Haaland. I think that their attention is just going to be so focused on that I think Kane is just going to end up staying, just because I don't think that there's going to be enough genuine interest in him this window, just because everyone is going to go after Haaland. Because at the end of the day, Dortmund, while they did make it past Sevilla, they didn't look convincing doing it. It seemed like it was a one-man show from Erling Haaland. It seemed like they lacked any kind of defensive consistency. And they're 6th place in the Bundesliga right now. Like, there's no chance that he stays past this year. That is a player, we're literally looking at a generational talent. He wants Champions League football. And I think that there are only a select few clubs that are going to be in on him. And I think most of those are in England.
Oh, you're thinking City, huh? Oh, don't tell me that, please.
If they get Messi, I don't see how they can somehow swing Messi's ridiculous wages and pay for Haaland, which is easily going to be upwards of 100 mil and a ridiculous contract. Like, I just don't see financially how that works out for them, especially because Man City are notorious for not being a team that sells. They just tend to spend. And I think that it would definitely require them to gut a few players in their team if you're going to pull off a transfer like that. I don't think that he has any chance of going to Man United. And I say that partially just because I would hate it if he was at Man United, just because of how much I love him as a player. Liverpool, if they had a different ownership group, would be the natural choice. Because like I said, they definitely need a striker. But Fenway Sports Group is not going to spend that kind of money on Erling Haaland. It's just not going to happen.
Imagine if Neymar was 222 million, dude. Haaland's over 150, right? At least.
Well, the interesting thing right now with Haaland is just the way that his contract right now is built in at Dortmund. Because he has the release clause that kicks in not this year, but the year after.
That's right. It's like 80 million or something. Right?
I think it drops down to like 60 or something like that.
Crazy.
So Dortmund are going to be inclined to take just the highest bid this summer because you don't want to risk losing him. At the end of the day, you know you're going to lose him at some point. And
sure.
Dortmund fundamentally, I think, understand that as a club. They're built on that. They take players, they get them to a promising status, and then they sell them off. They've done it with Ousmane Dembele. They've done it with so many players for like the last 7-8 years. And I think that they're just going to try and maximize their financial status in terms of being able to now turn however much they're able to get from that Erling Haaland transfer into a potential squad overhaul for them to still keep them competitive. But I think you're definitely looking upwards over 100. I don't know if he cracks 150 just because I think teams understand the way that release clause is going to kick in and that they're going to use that to their advantage. But I definitely think easily 120.
All I'm saying is if Real Madrid don't get him, he's going to Arsenal with Martin Odegaard. Get ready, boys.
Oh, my God.
Norwegian teammates, right? They're going to play right next to each other. It's over.
It's
if
just
Arsenal can find the money, I see they do it.
There's just not that many teams. When you really look, like break it down. And Mino Raiola, who's his agent, went out and said it. He said there's about 10 teams that can afford him. But when you start really breaking down who can afford him, you're looking at a list of about maybe 3-4 teams. And the scary thing is, I think you're looking at City, United, Chelsea, Madrid. I think that's it.
You're probably right. I think so too, because Barca's not in there. Paris, no way with what they got over there.
My thing is that Paris have the money. It's just they have too much locked up. And especially if Mbappe stays, which I think he's going to, but if Mbappe stays, you're just those contracts are just too big. And it seems like Neymar is going to sign an extension. Mbappe, most likely, if he does decide that he's going to stay, he'll sign an extension there as well. I just think the PSG are going to look to build out other elements of their team. I think that they're going to look to bolster more of their midfield and their defense than splash out 120 mil on a striker, which obviously, there's no question, whatever team he goes to, he's going to have a transcendent impact on. I don't see the financial feasibility for most of these teams.
Which, that's kind of the argument why people think he'll stay, right? Even if Dortmund doesn't make Champions League football, I mean, they're a good club to stay at. You know, he's going to play every game. He's got good quality around him. What if the teams just don't have enough money? Again, who's going to pay 120 in the pandemic?
I mean, selfishly, as a Chelsea fan, and once again, Dylan can completely, I would assume that he'll completely agree with me on this one. Selfishly, as a Chelsea fan, I desperately want him to sign for Chelsea. The thought of him and Timo Werner playing off of each other is just straight mind-blowing to me.
Oh, I can't imagine that.
That would be such a good dynamic duo.
I just wanted to bring this up, how unfair this is, but Abramovich, he's having a $600 million yacht being built right now. Think about that for a second.
Yeah, and then he's going to bring all these players. He's going to invite Erling Haaland over to the yacht and secure that signing. If I were him, I would just give Dortmund the yacht.
Where's financial fair play? That's not a bad idea. Where's financial fair play in all this? Come on. What's going on here?
I mean, come on. We know FFP is definitely a joke. Like,
but 400 million in 2 windows or whatever it's gonna be. Come on,
but Chelsea, ironically enough, actually are one of the
insane.
teams that have the least argument for violations of FFP because we sell so much.
Yeah.
If you look at our net transfer spend, it's only like 113 mil over like the last 2 or 3 years. And it's just because we have so many once again, we exploit other means. Like, we were definitely abusing the loan system.
Oh my
We
goodness.
had just so many people at the club. We were able to sell a lot to kind of counteract that in ways that I think if you look at teams like City and PSG, they just don't sell the way that a team like Chelsea does. But at the end of the day, FFP is a joke for any big club. They are not going to get punished. And even if they do, they have the money to pay out a fine. And even if they're banned for 6 months to a year, like, these teams are so well positioned that I feel like it's unfortunate that I feel like FFP only really harms a team like Wigan.
Did you just bring up a Premiership team, bro? A Championship team? What are you talking about? Oh my goodness. You're right though. It's kind of like PSG. It's been 10 years and they've been spending like crazy, and I don't see FFP sneaking their nose in or anything.
I mean, PSG's owner literally sits on the board of UEFA. Like,
That's
is a massive conflict of interest there. That
Let's not
I
talk
just-
about that. Oh my goodness. I didn't know he sat on the UEFA board, bro.
Yeah, I think that speaks volumes about kind of the corruption in all of world football. It's just
Speaking of corruption, it looks like he got released a couple days ago, but former Barcelona president Josep Bartomeu, he got arrested last week over allegations that he was hiring a social media team to smear players and presidential candidates, including Messi and Piqué. What do you guys think about this? Your own president trying to squash your image? What's going on here?
I mean, Bartomeu abusing his presidential power more than Trump there.
Dude, imagine you're making Messi look, or they were attacking Messi on social media so he can want to stay. I mean, what's like?
That
Dude, you're
alone,
harassing the guy.
That alone should put you in prison. Like, just from the lack of logic from doing that. Like, you're literally looking at the greatest player that anyone has ever seen. And your idea of finding a way to get him happy and to get him to stay is to absolutely trash him. Like, it makes no sense fundamentally. And I think that just speaks to where Barca are as a club. I just think that there's so much dysfunction right now at Barca. Like, there's dysfunction at Madrid, and comparatively, they seem like they have things way more put together. And I'm really interested to see where things go with La Liga. Because if both those teams, like, I think everyone kind of assumes that they're going to turn things around, but I don't think that's a guarantee. It's definitely not a given. And
Yes, it isn't. It isn't.
And I just think people have become so accustomed because they're Barca, because they're Madrid. And it's just those names in and of itself are the two of the biggest names in all of football. I think that people sort of have this idea that they're going to get back to the place where they are the elite. And I think if you look at what's going on at these teams, I mean, look at Madrid. Madrid might lose Sergio Ramos. And it seems like they can't play without him.
Which we all thought he's a lifer as well, no?
I mean,
That'll be a
yeah,
shame if he
you would have
goes.
hoped.
Especially a Real Madrid fan, you know? He's like the centerpiece of your team.
Yeah, and it's funny you were saying, Kev, that Barca is in a shambles and Madrid kind of isn't, but Barca's 2 points ahead of him on the table.
That's why, man. The fact that Atleti are gonna most likely win the league playing some of the worst football I don't think that anyone, even Atleti fans, I think could attest to the fact that no one likes watching the way that they play. Diego Simeone has somehow found a way to make himself the most hated manager because he's taken Mourinho's system and made it even worse. It's just no attack, ever.
I mean, he's playing with a 6-man back line, dude. How do you play with 6 defenders back there?
I mean, look at the way that they played against Chelsea in that first leg of the Champions League. I mean,
yeah,
there were points where they had 8 men back. Like,
poor João Felix.
I 100% agree. The kid is so talented. And that was one of the things that really frustrated me hearing the commentary in that Chelsea Atleti game. The commentators were going after João Felix really, really hard. It's not
he's alone up there.
It's not the kid's fault. He's super talented. He has no one to help him. No one to help him. The way that Simeone runs that system, the defense, because he stacks so many people back, they're so disconnected from the attack, and he has no real true elite partners that can facilitate. Like, there at multiple points this season, he's used Marcos Llorente as a striker. Like, it's inexplicable.
And that's funny. And that's to defend, right? That's not like you're. Oh man. Oh, and it sucks. It's weird because Luis Suarez, he's one of the. I don't know if he's the top goal scorer, but he's up there for sure. And they still play this defensive style. It's. I don't know. I don't dig it at all, man. I always find myself wanting to change the channel.
Yeah, no, they're definitely one of those teams that I think borders on unwatchable. But they're in first, so.
Well, they just tied to Real Madrid last week, so it looks like there's a race on, boys. There's only 6 points between Madrid and Atletico Madrid and Barca right now. You think Atletico stays up there?
If they keep on playing how they're playing and Barcelona and Real Madrid don't get their stuff together, then I say they win this year. Barcelona and Real Madrid, all they want to do is stay in Champions League play, I would think, from their standpoint.
For sure.
Especially with the possibility of losing Ramos and Messi, I think your number one concern should be staying in the Champions League, not winning the league 1 year.
Man, but come on. You're telling me that Diego Simeone style is going to win the league, man? Come on. Like,
it's not really his style.
I mean, he's done it before, though.
He has. He won in what, 2015 or 14? He won the league, or 2016. But like Barcelona, like they only have to step up like one more level, and they can run away with this thing, man. Come on.
As long as Ronald Koeman is their manager, and it's just not gonna happen. And
dude, when I heard that they were appointing him, man, all I could think of was his time at Everton, and I was like, they're hiring this guy, dude. What a joke, man.
Which is hilarious to me. It's absolutely hilarious to me to look at the job that Ronald Koeman did at Everton, and people were like, well, that's the guy that needs to take over Barca. And look at what Ancelotti is doing with Everton right now.
Oh, he's a boss, man. Oh, man.
Like, one of the greatest managers of all time.
And one of my favorite things from watching Ancelotti, man, he puts 4 center backs in his back line sometimes, no fullbacks, and he just tells them, yo, defend. There's them 4, and then everyone else do what you got to do. And you got Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison, man. I wish they were doing better over there.
When you look at Everton, if they can fit Champions League spot, they're still in contention for it, but it definitely seems like that's going to be a tough ask from that squad. If they can finish in a Europa League spot, and the actual board and the ownership group of Everton can spend a little bit of money and really get Ancelotti a few guys to really round out that team, I think that team could be even more competitive next year. Because they've really impressed me.
You're right. I mean, even James, he doesn't play all the time, but when he does, man, he plays well. You know, you're right, though. They need a piece or two more, and I think they can stay up there, at least competing. Like Leicester. Look at Leicester. Leicester, they won the league. Yeah, they didn't get to the same like level of play, but man, they've stayed up there, you know.
No, Everton needs to make a big spend this summer transfer window to stay up there. I personally think, because James has what, maybe 2 years left of being able to play at the same level. And then after that, you know, like the rest of the team is good, but they're not good enough to stay up there.
Ironically enough, Everton's secret weapon might just already be at the club. Everyone seems to count out the fact Moise Kean, who's been killing it this year for PSG, has really, really made an impact.
Is he on loan? I thought they sold him.
He's on loan there.
I thought they sold him.
I thought they sold him.
I'm almost certain that he is on loan.
Oh, I mean, if he comes back and he can bring it.
And I'm pretty sure that Ancelotti, based off the way he's talked in the media, based off of just how good he's doing, he wants him back. And if PSG are looking to make some of these crazy transfers like we've been talking about, Everton might get lucky and Moise Kean might recommit himself to Everton, especially because he would be playing under Ancelotti, which is honestly the breath of fresh air from what he's had to deal with managerially a lot of his career.
And they're both Italian.
Yeah. I just think that right there would be the move for them.
Yeah, he is on loan. You're right with that.
He is, huh? Oh,
yeah.
I think if he decides to stay, which I think Ancelotti can convince him to stay. I mean, again, he's what, like 19, right, or 20?
He's 21. He just turned 21 now.
Hopefully, one of the like Barca or Madrid don't try to go for him if he's been killing it like that.
Nah, there's rumor too that Juventus now wants in on.
Oh, didn't they own him before? Jesus.
They did.
Yes.
Oh my God, I hate when teams always do that. They sell to a team and they get him back in 2 years.
They had him. He looked good, looked super talented, hit a small little lull in his play, and then they were like, all right, you're gone. Because we have Cristiano, and now they're like, all right, Cristiano. It seems like they want him gone too.
I hope Cristiano goes somewhere else, man. Just anywhere, man. Anywhere.
MLS.
Inter Miami.
Future Inter Miami legend.
Oh my god, bro! If he comes to MLS, he's getting 50 goals a season.
I'll take him or Messi at this point. I'm just like either one of them.
I think they're still hungry.
I feel like that is what Inter Miami are waiting for. I feel like Inter Miami are just waiting for one of these guys to just be like, you know what, I'm done with Europe. I'm just going to go evade my taxes somewhere else. I'll go evade them in Miami now. I think that's kind of what they're banking on, especially when you look at the actual moves that Inter Miami have made to this point.
Ryan Shawcross.
Ryan Shawcross. Like, when the team was first announced, the names that were being linked to us, man. Suarez, David Silva, Ronaldo, Messi, James, Falcao. Just like all of these big-ass players at big-ass clubs. And now you're looking at Ryan Shawcross. We're linked to Kieran Gibbs. Like, don't get me wrong, those can be good signings, but that's what Inter Miami is missing, man. We're missing that just superstar signing that Higuain is not going to be.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Higuain.
Which he's not a bad player yet, you know, but he can't be out there alone, man. He's 34 or something.
Yeah. He has like what, 20 pace?
Oh,
if
Lord.
we really look at it.
Oh Lord. That's one thing about the MLS, man. When I'm watching, it's a lot slower and man, the quality, like the first touch is different. You see Higuain out there; he looks like a star.
Him and Matuidi are like superstars.
When Matuidi first got there, dude, you could tell he's levels above these guys. Like when Matuidi's your best player, it's.
But the problem in general with the MLS is just that I think how terrible the defending is. And I think that is something that, because even some of the attackers in the MLS, like Joseph Martinez and Miguel Almiron when he was still at Atlanta United, Carlos Vela, like they produce goals and they produce some excitement.
Yeah.
Defensively, I think almost every team across the board in the MLS is terrible.
It's a nightmare, yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't think that people realize it. Like a lot of people that are really high on the MLS, like the league is growing. Don't get me wrong. The league is definitely grown, especially in the last 5 years. But if you look at the defending of an MLS team and then you take a look at the English Championship, there's levels to this. Like the English Championship is by far just better.
Dude, they're dirty in that league, man. They're dirty in that league, bro.
Oh, the champion. A lot of people are always talking about, the Premier League and how the Premier League is crazy. You want to see some exciting football. Sometimes you got to tune into a championship game and just watch these guys just destroy each other for 90 minutes.
Yeah, like maybe the quality's not all the way at the best, but man, they're going in. There's no VAR, so there's cleats up. They're going in elbows. Oh man. I miss watching those Millwall Norwich matches with the fans. Oh, man.
Hey man, and Norwich looking like the real deal. 10 points clear. 10 points clear right now. They're definitely gonna get promoted.
They'll be back. Imagine they were in the Premier League last year. Their team is still. They didn't sell anybody. They still have Buendia and what's that Cantwell, right?
Yeah, they still have Max Aarons. They definitely still have enough pieces that if they were to invest in the squad, I think they could do a good job. And especially when you take a look at the Prem teams that have gotten promoted recently. Like Villa, when they came up, they did good. Leeds, like even not every team is going to pull off what Wolves did when they got promoted.
Yeah.
That's damn near impossible to do. But a lot of these teams are, they get promoted and they're really competitive. I mean, Sheffield, it's disappointing to see the drop-off from last year to this year.
I thought they were going to stay up, man. They were a good team last year.
Yeah.
Sheffield, I mean, when you look at the bottom of the table, Sheffield, West Brom, Fulham, they all look terrible. Fulham definitely playing better than West Brom and Sheffield. To me, I think one of the most interesting teams to look at is Brighton. Because Brighton just plays such good football on a match-to-match basis and just can't finish ever.
They always beat Arsenal, man.
Everyone beats Arsenal.
Shut up.
I say that to you.
Shut up, Dylan. Shut up.
Every time you bring up Arsenal, I'm sorry. I need to say something. Being a Chelsea fan, it's my job to roast Arsenal on a daily basis.
Get no respect.
That being said, if you guys want to go out there and get that dub against Tottenham on Sunday, that'd be greatly appreciated.
Hell
yeah, that'd be really helpful.
Some good fixtures coming up on Sunday because you got Arsenal, Tottenham, and you also have Man United, West Ham. West Ham, another team that's been seriously overperforming.
Yeah.
David Moyes had kind of become a meme, and now he's showing that he's pretty good.
It might bite him in the ass though, because if Declan Rice keeps playing like this, he's out of there, bro. Next season for sure.
You'd think he was long, like when Lampard was in charge. There was such strong links between Declan Rice and Chelsea, especially because Declan Rice, being a former Chelsea Academy player, it kind of just made sense. Thomas Tuchel now in charge, don't see that happening. Even though I still think that he would work well in Thomas Tuchel's system because he's running a two-man midfield. I think Declan Rice would
for sure.
He would give really good defensive cover to a more creative player alongside him, whether that be Kovacic, whether it be Mount that's playing alongside him. Like, it would give him options if he were to sign somebody like Declan Rice. But I just don't see that happening.
Yeah, I never really thought of him going to Chelsea. I always thought he'd go to United or Liverpool or something like that. One of those teams. Because imagine a United, what? They got Fred.
No, United are in desperate need of some midfield and defensive help.
You have 40-year-old Matic. Come on, man.
That's why, like, United makes sense as a place for him to go. And like you said, Liverpool is just one of the funniest teams to me, because in theory they're linked to everyone, but in practical application, their ownership group is getting them Kabak as an emergency center back signing. Like, they're not willing to splash out cash like that.
Which, like you said, there's only maybe 3 or 4 teams in the world who can, right? Because everyone's loaning in players and free agents, right?
Yeah. And really, really looking, because I'm literally looking at the Prem table right now, and it's crazy to see how competitive it is. I want to know, what do you guys think in terms of the top 4 this year? If you had to lock in a prediction now, and most teams, have anywhere between, 8-9 games left to play. Some of them a little bit more than that, 10 games. If you had to lock in your predictions right now, top 4, what are you going with?
What do you think, Dylan? Your top 4?
I am going with Man City 1, like no question about it. That should be all of ours, number 1. Number 2, I'm actually going to say it's going to stay Man United also. I was going to say Leicester, but I feel like they're going to drop off out of the top 4. And then Chelsea's going to move up 3rd, and either West Ham or Everton. I don't know which one, but one of those 2.
West Ham or Everton, huh? That's looking like it's building up nice, huh?
Yeah.
That looks good. I'm going to have to agree with the Man City at first. I mean, no one's catching them for sure.
Yeah.
And we got, I think number 2, I'm going to go with Chelsea. I think Chelsea are going to come back. I think, not come back. I think Tuchel's going to remain the same right now, just a clean sheet with 1 goal, 2 goals, get the wins going. And I think Man United's going to choke out of 2nd place.
I'm going to have to agree with you on that one.
So I'm going to go City, Chelsea, Leicester. Okay. Leicester. I'll go Man City, Chelsea, Man United, and Everton 4th place. You heard me. Everton 4th place.
That Everton 4th place is not as crazy as you think, because looking at this table, obviously I was thinking City first, no question. Obviously, as the Chelsea fan in me wants to see a 2nd, but really looking at the way that we're playing, I think it's going to happen. I think it's going to be City, Chelsea, United. I think Leicester, in true Leicester fashion, drop just out. And I think Ancelotti, he is not that far off right now. And I think that he's going to get them. I think he's going to get them into 4th.
He is not messing around, man.
I think he's going to get them into 4th, and I think you're going to be looking at the 3 Europa League spots as West Ham, Tottenham, and Leicester. Yeah, and I think Liverpool. I think Liverpool really do stay out.
No, I think so too. I think, and it's good for them. I think next season it'll just be Premier League and the EFL Cup and all that stuff. And I think they'll get back to their, maybe not where they were, but
yeah, they're gonna have a season like Chelsea have had a million times, fresh off a title win. We win the title, and then we're terrible the next year, and then you retool your team. But that's what it's gonna. But the problem with Liverpool, man, everyone is talking about the fact that their squad has holes and that they need to invest and they need to definitely fix a lot of the problems that have been apparent this year. If you don't get Champions League football, you do not have the money to spend.
Which that's kind of what Liverpool need right now, don't they?
Yeah. So it's going to be one of those unfortunate situations for them that I can't see them getting much better in terms of investing in that team. Well, their only hope is just going to be everybody comes back and stays healthy next year.
Which I think, I think Liverpool's going to make it. I think they'll be all right. I think just give them a season or 2. They'll be back up there with the best. I think the Premier League they'll be just fine with. Hopefully, Man City's out of there soon. We'll get some top guys back in there. Chelsea, Arsenal, and there'll be better days in North London. Well, thanks for joining me today, guys. We'll keep an eye on the Premier League table as the season goes on, and thanks for listening, everybody. We'll be back next week for another episode of the Heated Sportscast. Thanks for listening.